now stands down, with the Election Commission deciding that Eknath Shinde truly represents the Shiv Sena. The bow and arrow symbol will go to him. The tag of Shiv Sena will go to him. For Uddhav Thackeray, this is a huge setback. The Election Commission, in fact, has given a detailed order on this. We're just, in fact, scanning some of the details that have been mentioned here. There have been, in fact, versions put out by both. Both put forth the arguments to the Election Commission in this particular case. But now you've got the big breaking news coming in that the EC, the Election Commission, after going through all of, in fact, the details now, they've decided to hand over the bow and arrow symbol, the name, to Eknath Shinde. Aishwarya Paliwal joining us with more details on this. Aishwarya, run us through the EC communication.
Well, it is a very detailed, communication that the Election Commission has given. The order is running into 78 pages, Akshita. So, in a very detailed manner, the Election Commission has said why they have given the bow and arrow symbol as well as the name to Eknath Shinde. They are saying that all the documents that were being given by both the groups, when they went through all the documents, and according to the Symbols Act 1968, they very clearly have found out that the majority of the people, not just the MPs and the MLAs, but also the party workers, everyone who's working for the party, has been working for the party for almost the past 30 years, all of them are standing with the Eknath Shinde faction, because of which the Election Commission has now given this order. Let me tell you, Akshata, this order is extremely crucial, because BMC elections will be held in the coming months, and apart from that, all the elections that will be held from now on, Eknath Shinde has got the symbol. Uddhav Thackeray faction obviously can go to the court, but in this matter, whenever we talk about the symbol, the final decision is the decision of the ECI. Now we'll have to wait and watch and see how both the factions react. But it is a 78-page order that the Election Commission has given, and they said that they have scrutinized all the things. They have also, in fact, given a history of
let's just sum this up for us, for our viewers right now. And before that, Arvind Sawant is joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Arvind Sawant, what do you have to say about this big breaking update? Shiv Sena, bow and arrow symbol, everything goes to Eknath Shinde.
Yeah, give views of them with the bow and arrow.
Mr. Arvind Sawant, can you hear me? Doesn't look like we have Mr. Sawant with us. We'll just reconnect with him to get you, in fact, his reaction on this big breaking news. Just to highlight for you that it was months ago in October that the Election Commission had frozen the bow and arrow symbol because of the fight, the very public spat between, in fact, Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray. And this comes as the biggest shot in the arm for Eknath Shinde ahead of the BMC polls, thereby advantage BJP as well. Eknath Shinde and the Shinde Sena, as they've been referred to of late, now get the bow and arrow symbol, which you see on your images there. He's been seen projecting it as the symbol for the last many months, and he's now been given the symbol as well as the tag of Shiv Sena. This is the biggest setback possible for Uddhav Thackeray, and there will be questions about what next for Uddhav. How will he actually keep his political career or the group, the faction that's backed him alive after this kind of a setback? Any other political symbol that he gets, it will not be the same, because let's be very clear that the bow and arrow symbol is something that's associated not just with the Shiv Sena, it's associated with the Thackeray's. So this is the biggest setback there can really be. Preeti Chaudhary, in fact, is live with us for more on that big news break that's coming. Preeti, over to you.
All right, Akshita, this is a big development. And why is it such a big development? Because, viewers, the BMC elections are just around the corner. Now, the Uddhav faction Sena had been wanting elections for a very long time. Trust Uddhav Thackeray now to come out all guns blazing. There will be allegations made where the EC is in question. There will be allegations made that the elections were delayed because the EC could intervene. This is going to blow up politically in a big way where Maharashtra is concerned. But when you come down to the brass tacks, this is a huge win for the Shinde Sena, if one might say. No longer the Shinde Sena, viewers. There is one Shiv Sena, and there is now one symbol where the bow and arrow symbol of the Shiv Sena is concerned, and that belongs to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, and his faction. There is no faction of the Shiv Sena right now. Perception-wise, isn't this a huge blow for Uddhav Thackeray. Interesting. What now the Uddhav faction will come out and say. Understandably, they will play the emotional game of it all, where they will say that yes, you may take the symbol, you may take the name, but you cannot take the love of the people that is associated with us and with Bala Sahib Thackeray. Trust it all to play out in a big political way. But will this be a setback going forward to the BMC elections? Well, yes, because somewhere down the line where Shiv Sena is concerned, where that traditional symbol of bow and arrow, which is practically burnt into the memory space of any Shiv Sainik or the cadre or those who've been voting for the Shiv Sena. So yes, in that aspect, it will be a blow. I want to get in my colleague Aishwarya, who's tracking the Election Commission. What's interesting, Aishwarya, now is, and what's the word you have on it, will the date of the BMC elections be announced soon now?
But it looks like it, Preeti, because this is what both the factions were desperately waiting for. They wanted that this thing should be out of the way. We did see how the Uddhav Thackeray faction was in fact arguing in front of the Election Commission, saying that they need to wait for the Supreme Court's order. The Election Commission, however, had very clearly said that the symbols order is completely different from the case that the Supreme Court is hearing, because of which we are seeing this very detailed 78-page order that has been given by the ECI. The ECI has also given out the history of whenever they have dealt with these kind of issues.
Give us the past precedents. Give us the past precedents when a similar case like this has taken place, and then the symbol and the name of the party has gone to a particular party.
Well, in the if we talk about 2017, this took place. Chirag Papaswan, the case is still being heard by the Election Commission. We also saw how the OPS-EPS faction, they had gone to the ECI. In their case, both of them came back together, because of which the party as a whole was able to keep the symbol with them. If we go back in history, in 1968, in fact, when the Congress was split, that was also the time when the Election Commission had in fact frozen the symbol and given new symbols. So they have given all this history, Preeti, in this thing, and they have also clearly said, let me tell you, there were truckloads of affidavits which were being sent to the Election Commission, roughly 3 lakh in number. That's what the Election Commission was given, and the Election Commission has gone through all the papers in detail, and now this is the final order. Let me tell you, Preeti, very quickly, Election Commission's decision is the final decision when it comes to a party name and a party symbol.
Aishwarya, get us the fine print of what are the reasons why the Election Commission has now awarded the name and the symbol to Eknath Shinde's faction. We're going to come right back to you, viewers, because there's no factions anymore. Trust Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister, now to hold a show of strength of sorts, where he will say that this is the real Shiv Sena, this is our symbol, everyone else, even though it might have come through inheritance, is an imposter. Trust it all now to blow up in a big fashion. But huge win coming in for Eknath Shinde, and understandably so. Why is it to be read in perspective of the BMC elections? The BMC elections, viewers, were to take place last year in September. They haven't taken place yet. The Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena has constantly gone to town and say that there is a reason why the elections are being delayed, because Eknath Shinde and the BJP are highly unpopular. And but now, when the EC has made it clear that, and in practical terms, made it clear that the real Shiv Sena is the Eknath Shinde Sena. What will come of Uddhav Thackeray, because this is a huge political blow. We're going to try and get in a word from our Mumbai Bureau Chief as well, Sahil Joshi. We're going to try and connect to him. But before we cut across to our political reporters, because this is going to have huge political implications where the BMC elections are concerned. Mind you, not just that, there's a lot of churning that would go on after this. On the other hand, what about the general elections come again in just about a year's time? All of that perspective coming up. But Aishwarya, I'll come right back to you. Take us through the Election Commission's decision. What were the key parameters on which the EC decided to award the symbol and the party name to Eknath Shinde?
Well, Preeti, there's a Symbols Act 1968. Every decision that the Election Commission takes is with regards to the symbol selection 1968. It clearly says it's not just the majority of the MLAs and the MPs that one needs to prove. You also need to prove all the people who are working in your party. Which side do they lean? You will also have to prove the office bearers, all the office bearers, not just in the state of Maharashtra, it's spread across the country. Which side do they lean? All these things one needs to present in front of the Election Commission. They need to have names of all those people, and a very detailed presentation has to be given in front of the Election Commission, and only then, on the basis of who, the people in the party, who they are actually leaning towards, they also look at the history of the party. Why was the those are the things that also both the factions, from what we understand, were able to explain. Let me also tell you, one of the things that the Eknath Shinde faction had said was that Uddhav Thackeray had changed the core of the party. This was also one of the things that they had said, keeping all these things in mind. And what the Election Commission says, that when they went through almost 3 lakh papers, they understood that majority of the people spread across the country were with the Eknath Shinde faction, because of which they believe, the Election Commission believes, the Commission believes, that the real Shiv Sena is the Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena. Preeti.
All right. I want to immediately cut across to our Mumbai Bureau Chief, Sahil Joshi, who is joining us. Sahil, I want you to take our viewers through on what are the immediate political implications of this.
Well, definitely it is going to have a big implications on the Shiv Sena, because Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray group specifically, was gearing itself for the municipal corporation elections, not only in Mumbai, but almost 10 important municipal corporations across Maharashtra. It was going to be like a mini assembly elections in Maharashtra in next few months. And the main contention for them was that there is a split in the party. Eknath Shinde caused this particular split by, taking undue means from the BJP, and with the support of BJP has caused this big rift. And he was asking for the sympathy from the Shiv Senics and the Shiv Sena supporters. But now Eknath Shinde will be getting a chance to claim that they are the real Shiv Sena. They are the one who can claim the name of the Shiv Sena, which was formed by Balasaheb Thackeray in Mumbai in 1966. So the original party tag goes with Eknath Shinde. Not only the party name, but also the party election symbol, bow and arrow, which Shiv Sena officially got in 1989. It's a big blow for Uddhav Thackeray. Now they will have to come up with some other name. They will have to re-register their party with the Election Commission, and now it will be Uddhav Thackeray's party, not the party which was formed by Balasaheb Thackeray in 1966 at the Shivaji Park ground in Mumbai. It was kind of a historic event. There have been traditional events by the Shiv Sena, that the Formation Day and many other events, which will not be, Uddhav Thackeray will not be able to claim on that. More importantly, the people who are sitting on fence, specifically the people who are willing to fight the corporation elections on Uddhav Thackeray's ticket, may be willing to jump with Eknath Shinde, because he has got the original symbol, the original name of the party, and he can claim that the original Shiv Sena is with Eknath Shinde. The BJP will be able to claim that it was only Uddhav Thackeray who had split away from the original Shiv Sena. He deviated himself from the original goal of the Shiv Sena, the Hindutva, and the banner of Hindutva, the carrier of Hindutva, is now going to be Eknath Shinde camp. So that is going to be a big blow for Uddhav Thackeray. We are yet to get the reaction from Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray camp has accepted that there is going to be a split. The earlier verdict of Election Commission before by-poll in Mumbai was Uddhav Thackeray will be getting a name, Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, and Eknath Shinde fraction will be getting a name, Balasahebanchi Shiv Sena. They have split the symbols. Eknath Shinde had got a symbol of sword and of the sword, and Uddhav Thackeray has got a symbol of torch. So he had accepted the fact that there is a split in the party, and he will be leading the fraction with the name Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray. Now, this new judgment by the Election Commission, the new order by the Election Commission, is going to hamper his plans with respect to the municipal corporation elections.
आखिर वही फैसला है। हम शुरू से कह रहे हैं कि चुनाव आयोग पर हमें विश्वास नहीं है। क्योंकि जब मामला सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चल रहा है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में दोनों पक्षों की तरफ से बहस अभी जारी है, कोई अंतिम निर्णय नहीं आया, लेकिन आनन फानन में चुनाव आयोग ने दर्शा दिया है कि चुनाव आयोग भाजपा का एजेंट के रूप में काम करती है, केंद्र सरकार के अधीन काम करती है। किसी पार्टी को आप तोड़ सकते हैं, आप उसे धोखा दे सकते हैं, लेकिन पार्टी किसकी है किसकी नहीं है यह फैसला तो न्यायालय में होता है ना, न्याय देवता करते हैं। जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मामला विचाराधीन है, वहां पे बात अभी चली रही है। आपने आनंद फानन में अभी यह डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि एकनाथ शिंदे की पार्टी है और चुनाव चिन्ह तीर धनुष उनका है। इसका हम निषेध करते हैं। पूरे भारत में अब सभी को विश्वास हो गया है कि चुनाव आयोग पूरी तरह से भाजपा के एजेंट के रूप में काम करती है और अब चुनाव आयोग पर किसी को विश्वास नहीं है। चुनाव आयोग अपनी विश्वसनीयता खो चुकी है।
Understandable reaction, Sahil, that is coming in from the Shiv Sena, because the narrative will be exactly what Mr. Dubey said from the Shiv Sena. He's also on the phone line with us. Sahil, you can also jump in as in when you want to ask a question. Dubey ji, चाहे आप कुछ कह लीजिए, पर बात तो अब ये तय है कि शिव सेना अब एकनाथ शिंदे जी की है।
देखिए, ऐसा है, लोग हमसे आकर कहते थे कि चुनाव आयोग पर विश्वास नहीं है, चुनाव आयोग जो है वो केंद्र सरकार और भाजपा के एजेंट के रूप में काम करती है। लेकिन हम सोचते थे कि नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं होगी, चुनाव आयोग निष्पक्ष जांच करेगी। लेकिन आज लोगों का विश्वास सही हो गया। लोग जो बातें करते थे वो सच कर दिया चुनाव आयोग ने। चुनाव आयोग को जब मालूम है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एक बहस चल रही है, भारत का बहुत महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दा वो देख रहे हैं, वहाँ क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा इस पर सबकी सांसें अटकी हैं। आनन फानन में आज चुनाव आयोग ने यह कह दिया कि शिवसेना एकनाथ शिंदे की है और तीर धनुष उनका है। अब आप बताइए, हम तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना हमारा अधिकार है, लेकिन आज देश में अपनी विश्वसनीयता खो चुकी है चुनाव आयोग। लोग बार बार कहते थे कि चुनाव आयोग जो है वो एक दूसरे के दबाव में आ जाती है, कहीं कहीं लोगों को हराने के भी काम करती है, जिताने की काम करती है। लेकिन लोग बोलते थे नहीं यार, चुनाव आयोग एक संस्था है, एक मजबूत यंत्रणा काम करती है। लेकिन आज देश के सामने उनकी पूरी तरह से कलई खुल गई है। हम बार बार कह रहे थे कि आप दोनों पक्षों को सुनिए, हमारी बात सुनिए, उनकी बात सुनिए, कागज पत्र जमा होने दीजिए, उस पर चर्चा करिए, हमें बुलाइए, एक प्रक्रिया से जाइए, उसके बाद दूध का दूध पानी का पानी करिए। लेकिन जब हमारे 16 विधायकों के जो उनका निलंबन है उसके लिए एक मामला चल रहा है, पूरी पार्टी का भविष्य वहां निर्भर है, अचानक आप आज कह दे रहे हैं कि ये चुनाव आयोग कह रहा है कि भाई ये पार्टी उनकी है। कमाल है। अब इस पर क्या कहें क्या न कहें, हम तो देश के ऊपर छोड़ते हैं भाई, कि देश की जनता अगर आप देख रहे हो, सुन रहे हो, तो आप निर्णय लीजिए कि क्या बाला साहब ठाकरे की, उद्धव ठाकरे की, आदित्य ठाकरे जी की शिवसेना है, हम शिव सैनिकों की शिवसेना है, या हमारी ही पार्टी से निकले हुए कुछ लोग, चंद लोग, उनकी शिवसेना है। अभी तो देश की जनता को तय करना है।
देखिए, चंद लोग तो नहीं है दुबे जी। साहिल, वुड यू आल्सो वांट टू कम इन? चंद लोग तो नहीं है, क्योंकि जो प्रीसिडेंस।
अच्छा, मैम आप मुझे बात बताइए, 40 विधायक और 10-12 सांसद ये पार्टी होते हैं क्या? अगर किसी पार्टी में 2 ही सांसद हों और 2 ही विधायक हों, वो पार्टी छोड़ के चले जाए तो पार्टी खत्म हो जाती है? पार्टी किसी और की हो जाती है क्या? मैं आपसे सवाल पूछता हूँ, देश भी सवाल पूछेगा।
सर देखिए, अभी जैसे बीएमसी के चुनाव आएंगे, अब बात यह है कि जो उद्धव ठाकरे जी का ग्रुप है, फैक्शन है, अब वो शिवसेना नहीं कहलाएगा, तो अब आगे जाके क्या प्रतिक्रिया रहेगी वो देखने का है।
हम हार मानने वालों में से नहीं हैं। हम न्याय देवता पर पूरा विश्वास रखते हैं। हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाएंगे, अपनी बात रखेंगे, देश का सबसे बड़ा न्यायालय है वो, हम वहाँ पे कहेंगे कि साहब हमारे साथ अन्याय हो रहा है, अगर इस देश में जरा सी भी उम्मीद बाकी है तो आपसे उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप हमें न्याय देंगे। ठीक है, चुनाव आयोग, इनकम टैक्स, एनसीबी, ईडी, सीबीआई, ये तो अपनी विश्वसनीयता खो चुके थे, लेकिन एक चुनाव आयोग था जिसको लोग कहते थे नहीं यार, शायद ये लोगों के लिए बने हुए हैं, शायद ये किसी पार्टी के व्यक्ति नहीं है। लेकिन चुनाव आयोग भी अब तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आसरा है इस देश में। किसी को भी न्याय चाहिए भैया तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट से मांगिए,
चलिए,
देंगी न चुनाव आयोग देगा।
दुबे जी बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप हमसे जुड़े. Sahil, you know, understandable reactions coming in from the Shiv Sena camp. They had something that even Uddhav Thackeray had said very recently, that wait till the Supreme Court ruling comes in on disqualification and only then should EC take up any decisions on the organizational or the the symbol allotment issue. But having said that, it's a huge conundrum now that Uddhav Thackeray will find himself in.
Well, of course, they were actually expecting that, the kind of facts which Uddhav Thackeray camp tried to push in front of the election commission was that there, yes, of course, there are more number of MLAs and MPs elected are with Eknath Shinde camp, but the party constitution gives immense powers to the party president, and that is the reason why the organization is with Uddhav Thackeray camp. Along with that, they have also submitted affidavits of almost 2.5 lakh affidavits to the election commission. But it looks like that the election commission does not want to get into it because it's humanly not possible for election commission to go and check each and every affidavit at this point of time. But what it looks like is that Eknath Shinde's claim that maximum number of office bearers elected in 2017 have been sided with Eknath Shinde, and they have said they have managed to also convince election commission that the party has deviated by Uddhav Thackeray from its
Sahil, will you stay with me? Just stay with me. You know, the reason I'm asking you to, just stop is I'm going to just bring in Sheetal Mahatre. She's the spokesperson of Eknath Shinde faction. Now, I would reckon the Shiv Sena, because the dust seemingly has settled on that for now by the election commission. Sheetal Mahatre, congratulations. You've been awarded the symbol by the EC and the party name.
धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. ये हमारे लिए बहुत ही बड़ा दिन है आज का, क्योंकि जो हम इतने दिन से बोल रहे थे कि जो बाला साहब, हिंदू हृदय सम्राट बाला साहब ठाकरे है, उनका विचार लेके हम आगे जा रहे हैं और नंबर्स जो है वो हमारे पास ज्यादा है, तो ऑन मेरिट ये चिन्ह और नाम दोनों हमें ही मिलना चाहिए. ये जो हम बार बार बता रहे थे, तो मुझे लगता है आज लोगों के सामने और पूरे दुनिया के सामने आज ये तय हो गया कि बाला साहब ठाकरे जी का विचार लेके कौन आगे जा रहा है, और इसीलिए नाम और सिंबल दोनों भी हमें मिलना है.
शीतल जी, जो अभी इनिशियल रिस्पांस निकल के आ रहा है उद्धव ठाकरे जी के कैंप से, कहा जा रहा है देखिए आप चाहे सिंबल ले लीजिए, चाहे आप पार्टी नाम ले लीजिए, पर बाला ठाकरे जी का आशीर्वाद और उनसे जो प्यार जुड़ा है लोगों का, वो आप नहीं ले सकते.
ये तो अभी उनको बोलना ही पड़ेगा, और बोलने के सिवा भी उनके पास कुछ भी रहा नहीं है, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से वो हमें ह्यूमिलेट कर रहे थे, हमें गद्दार बोल रहे थे, हमें बहुत सारे चीजों से हमेशा हमको बात कर रहे थे, तो मुझे लगता है कि आज उनको भी उनके भी सामने आ गया है कि सचमुच शिवसेना कौन है और सिंबल किसके पास आया है, और ये पूरी दुनिया के सामने जो था कि सच में शिवसेना कौन है, तो ये आज ये तय हो गया है कि शिवसेना कौन है, और शिवसेना के विचार और शिवसेना का जो भी कहना है वो आगे लेके कौन जाने वाला है, ये पूरी दुनिया के सामने आज आ चुका है. ये हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी लड़ाई थी, और ये लड़ाई आज हमने जीती है. हमारे सीएम एकनाथ शिंदे साहब, इनके नेतृत्व में ये लड़ाई हमने जीती है, तो मुझे लगता है हमारे लिए ये बहुत बड़ी जीत है.
बहुत शुक्रिया महात्री जी, शीतल महात्री जी, कि आप हमसे जुड़े. साहिल, you know, understandable reactions coming in from both camps, but if you just break it out, and we're putting out those graphics as well for our viewers, what are the immediate challenges that lie in front of Uddhav Thackeray now? Sahil, can you hear me? All right, we seem to have lost the connection with Sahil. We're going to try and reconnect there. Once again, viewers, taking you through the latest news, and it's huge when it comes down to the political developments in the state of Maharashtra, where the war over the Shiv Sena name and symbol was concerned. The Election Commission has ruled today that Shiv Sena the party name and the party symbol, which is the bow and arrow. It had been frozen because both factions were claiming it will now be retained by Eknath Shinde faction. In the midst of all of this, the Uddhav Thackeray clan and only the faction, and before Uddhav Thackeray himself just a few days ago had said that the EC should wait because the case of disqualification is actually with the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court ruling come in and only then decide or make a decision on the administration of the working of the party, especially the allotment of the symbol and the party name. All of this is going to blow out politically. Number one, viewers, the BMC elections, which were to take place last year, had been repeatedly postponed, are around the corner right now, and which will give a huge edge to Eknath Shinde to lead Shiv Sena now, because that matter somewhere down the line is settled. So why is this a setback for Uddhav Thackeray, which I just told you? Reason one, losses for Thackeray legacy fight, because one thing has been made clear by the Election Commission: the symbol and the name, the real Shiv Sena that we talked about, is now Eknath Shinde, at least on paper, and importantly on the ballot paper when the BMC elections take place. Let's listen in to Sanjay Raut of the Uddhav faction.
वो पानी कहाँ तक पहुँचा है ये आज देश ने देखा, लोकतंत्र ने देखा, लेकिन हमें कोई फिक्र करने की जरूरत नहीं। जनता हमारे साथ, हम नया चिन्ह लेकर जाएंगे और जनता के दरबार में फिर एक बार यही शिवसेना खड़ी करके
सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में फायदा होगा।
नवंबर में दूसरी बार शिवसेना के खिलाफ फैसला आया कि उसके खिलाफ लोकतंत्र बचा ही नहीं। सभी ये संस्थाएं जो है इलेक्शन कमीशन के लेकर न्याय व्यवस्था, जांच एजेंसी, सब गुलाम बनकर बैठे और क्या कर सकते हैं? ये लोकतंत्र की हत्या है।
आपको लगता है सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में फायदा होगा इसका?
इस चुनाव आयोग के फैसले को फायदा हो या नुकसान हो, जनता के न्यायालय में जाकर न्याय मांगे। चुनाव आयोग के इस फैसले को ठाकरे गुट सर्वोच्च न्यायालय में चुनौती देगा।
All right, viewers, to give our viewers perspective, it all started, if I'm not wrong, in the month of June last year. Eknath Shinde, at that point of time, with 39 other MLAs, had brewed together a rebellion, vertically splitting the Shiv Sena. The then Uddhav Thackeray led Maha Vikas Aghadi government. He was the chief minister then, fell because of this defection and this rebellion. And since then, of course, we've seen how things have panned out. Eknath Shinde, now with the BJP, with his deputy as Mr. Fadnavis, is the chief minister. And there has been a war and a claim that it was Eknath Shinde's faction that was the real Shiv Sena, purely due to its numerical strength. The Thackeray camp, which is Uddhav Thackeray, was given the name of the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Bala Thackeray, has also contested for the same Shiv Sena symbol and the party name. There is also a parallel fight which is going on in Supreme Court pertaining to the disqualification of the MLAs, and that is something that repeatedly has been brought forward by the Uddhav faction, saying that, hey, wait, which is the Election Commission, do not rule on the symbol or the party name before the matter is settled in the top court of the country. All of that today, somewhere down the line, laid to rest, it seems, with the Election Commission coming in and saying the real Shiv Sena and the symbol.
कि आज न्यायालय ने उसको सही ठहराया और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हम सब शिव सैनिक इसीलिए बाला साहब की शिवसेना में गए थे, क्योंकि बाला साहब का विचार लेके सिर्फ एकनाथ शिंदे साहब चल रहे हैं, उनके साथ 40 आमदार, सब खासदार और सब शिव सैनिक है और यही शिवसेना है और इसके ऊपर शिक्का मुर्तब माननीय न्यायालय ने किया है। मैं उसका आदर करता हूँ, हमें बहुत हर्ष है, आज तो हमें बहुत आनंद भी है और हम जरूर उसे बनाएंगे। और मुझे पक्का विश्वास है कि जो बाला साहब चाहते थे, जो बाला साहब ने कहा था, जो हिंदू हित की बात करेगा वही देश पे राज करेगा, यही अभी होने वाला है। बाकी इधर उधर कुछ भी आप देखो मत, सही शिवसेना आज तय हो गई और न्यायालय ने उसको हरा कंदील दे दिया है।
यानी उद्धव ठाकरे को जो निराशा प्राप्त हुई तो उसकी वो क्या लगता है?
नहीं, मुझे नहीं लगता कोई निराशा वगैरह। उद्धव साहब को भी पता है कि शिवसेना क्या है, क्योंकि शिवसेना के पूरे लीडर शिव सैनिक आज बाला साहब की शिवसेना में थे और हमें तो आज नाम भी मिल गया और चिन्ह भी मिल गया है।
All right, viewers, lots of political reactions filtering in, and understandably so, a sense of elation running through the Eknath Shinde camp. They're going to actually go in now to the BMC elections, and understandably it seems they're going to be around the corner. It has to happen because they were scheduled to happen in September last year. That didn't quite go. At that point of time, they've been repeatedly postponed, and now Uddhav Thackeray would need to think whether or not what his party name will be, what his symbol will be, because he was given a temporary symbol of the torch and the name, which will now have to be changed. Uddhav Thackeray and his camp have repeatedly said that let this matter be settled by the Supreme Court. The matter of disqualification of MLAs is in Supreme Court. The top court has to hear the disqualification matter later in February. However, the Election Commission has now somewhere down the line settled the matter once and for all. Is there anything legally at all that Uddhav Thackeray and his camp can do? Well, not quite, but we're going to still get in an understanding of all the various aspects of it. All right, we're going to continue to get you reactions, but this understandably is a big blow when it comes down to the Uddhav Thackeray faction. A lot that Uddhav Thackeray will now have to think. Number one, BMC, what happens with the BMC elections, because the Shiv Sena symbol, the name which is practically burnt into the supporters and the cadre of the Sena, now lies with the man on your television screen on the left hand side. Let's listen in right now to all the reactions that have come in.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मामला विचाराधीन है, वहां पे बात अभी चली रही है। आपने आनंद फानन में अभी ये डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि एकनाथ शिंदे की पार्टी है और चुनाव चिन्ह तीर धनुष उनका है। इसका हम निषेध करते हैं। पूरे भारत में अब सभी को विश्वास हो गया है कि चुनाव आयोग पूरी तरह से भाजपा के एजेंट के रूप में काम करती है और अब चुनाव आयोग पर किसी को विश्वास नहीं है। चुनाव आयोग अपनी विश्वसनीयता खो चुकी है।
सरकार बनी, इसको कहा जाता है छोटे सरकार, करोड़ों रुपए ऊपर से नीचे तक पानी की तरह बहाया। वो पानी कहाँ तक पहुँचा है ये आज देश ने देखा, लोकतंत्र ने देखा, लेकिन हमें कोई फिक्र करने की जरूरत नहीं। जनता हमारे साथ, हम नया चिन्ह लेकर जाएंगे और जनता के दरबार में फिर एक बार यही शिवसेना खड़ी करके सर्वोच्च।
All right, what is interesting in all of this is that the Eknath Shinde faction has repeatedly gone on and quoted various examples, past precedents. One of them, of course, the classic 1971 example where there was a split within the Congress, a division in the Congress under the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, where one was called the Congress O and the other one, the Congress I, which was, of course, Indira. There was, the symbol was frozen by the Election Commission and both sides were given different symbols. However, with the result of what went down with that is something that has constantly been referred as which would work in the favor of Eknath Shinde, and it seems the Election Commission has taken note of all the affidavits that have come in from both sides, and importantly, the numbers seem to lie, sheer numbers seem to lie with Eknath Shinde. However, has the Election Commission ignored the constitution of the party itself, or that other administrative issues lie with Uddhav Thackeray faction? So have both of them been ignored is something, of course, Uddhav Thackeray's camp will talk about.
ऑब्वियस है साहिल जी, और भी लोग जो है और जो लोग वेट कर रहे थे, जो संभ्रम की परिस्थिति में थे कि क्या होगा करके, तो आज जो सेंसिटिव्स भी है, जो जिनको आना है, वो धनुष्यबान का वेट कर रहे थे, नाम का वेट कर रहे थे, क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, क्योंकि एक अलग परिस्थिति यहाँ पर निर्माण हुई थी। लेकिन आज पूरी जो चीजें है एक पूरी तरीके से एक ट्रांसपेरेंट है, क्लियर कट हो चुकी है कि शिवसेना किसकी है और धनुष्यबान किसका है।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया श्रीकांत, आपने हमसे बात की इसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
विचार साहब उनके जो विचार थे वो विचार आगे लेके जाने का काम जो है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ जी शिंदे साहब कर रहे थे यहाँ पर। तो आज एक सभी लोगों में एक अलग जोश है, एक अलग आनंद है, क्योंकि आज सिंबल भी मिला है, नाम भी मिला है। और जो असली शिवसेना जो हम बोल रहे थे पहले दिन से कि हम ही असली शिवसेना है, हम ही जो है वो बाला साहब के विचारों के वारसदार हम पहले दिन से जो बोल रहे थे, आज वो सच हुआ है।
माना जा रहा है कि आपको सिंबल मिलने की वजह से या पार्टी का नाम मिलने की वजह से कई सारे लोग कई बार आप ये कह चुके हैं कि एकनाथ शिंदे भी ये कह चुके हैं कि कई सारे लोग जो अभी फिलहाल उद्धव ठाकरे कैंप के साथ है वो आपके साथ आ सकते हैं। क्या अभी भी आपको लगता है कि ये फ्लो और भी बढ़ेगा? मुंबई जैसे शहर में खास करके आपको उम्मीद थी उसका फायदा होगा?
देखिए कि पहले दिन से इतने बड़े पैमाने पर लोग जो जुड़ रहे थे, आज 7 महीने हो गए। आज 7 महीने होने के बावजूद जो इनफ्लो है, जो लोगों का जुड़ाव है, वो रुक नहीं रहा है। और आज तो हम पहले दिन से कह रहे थे कि हम ही असली शिवसेना है, हम ही बाला साहब जी के विचारों के वारसदार है। यहाँ पर उनके सब विचार जो है आगे लेके जाने का काम जो है एकनाथ जी शिंदे साहब और उनकी सारी टीम जो है सब कर रहे थे। और आज इलेक्शन कमीशन ने भी उसी तरह का जो है रिजल्ट यहाँ पर दिया है। सच के बाजू से निर्णय जो है आज यहाँ पर हुआ है।
और भी लोग आपसे जुड़ेंगे ऐसा आपको लगता है? ये पर्टिकुलर फैसले के बाद में और भी लोग आपसे जुड़ेंगे ऐसा आपको लगता है?
तो एकदम ऑब्वियस है साहिल जी, और भी लोग जो है और जो लोग वेट कर रहे थे, जो संभ्रम की परिस्थिति में थे कि क्या होगा करके, तो आज जो फेंसिटर्स भी है जो जिनको आना है वो धनुष्यबाण का वेट कर रहे थे, नाम का वेट कर रहे थे, क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, क्योंकि एक अलग परिस्थिति यहाँ पर निर्माण हुई थी। लेकिन आज पूरी जो चीजें है एक पूरी तरीके से एक ट्रांसपेरेंट है, क्लियर कट हो चुकी है कि शिवसेना किसकी है और धनुष्यबाण किसका है।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया श्रीकांत, आपने हमसे बात की इसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
All right, let's continue to get reactions. Navneet Rana, independent MP, is on the phone line with us right now. Ms. Rana, you must be glad that the symbol and the party name has now been allotted to Eknath Shinde. You've been a big supporter.
More than a big supporter. From last so many years, we have seen Bala Saheb's ideology in Maharashtra and how Shiv Sena has formed in Maharashtra and how Shiv Sena used to work with Bala Saheb Thackeray ji. So we know about that. More than a supporter to Eknath Shinde ji, I believe the ideology what on Bala Saheb Thackeray ji used to work. It was only the person in Shiv Sena was there with Bala Saheb Thackeray from the ground level, that was Eknath Shinde ji. So I was damn sure, and I've spoken openly on every stage, that this decision has to come, and this decision, we believe in that, that whenever one party gets divided into another party, the 100% we had believes in that, that almost 90% the party has gone in one side. So the commission has to give this result. And the way the election commission has given the result, the symbol has given to Eknath Shinde, every single person from Maharashtra, they are celebrating like Diwali in Maharashtra. And believe me, we all were waiting for this. Because who cannot pray for Ram ji or Hanuman ji? मैं आपको सीधे शब्दों में बताती हूँ, जो राम का नहीं, जो हनुमान का नहीं, वो किसी काम का नहीं और धनुष्यबाण उनका नहीं. This is the line we all were waiting for it. And now after this, the real ideology, what Bala Saheb Thackeray used to carry in Maharashtra, and because of that, Shiv Sena had formed in Maharashtra.
Okay.
So definitely,
Ms. Rana,
all Maharashtrian people...
Does that also mean that somewhere down the line you're looking at losing the independent tag and maybe going in what you now call the real Shiv Sena?
Who, me?
Yes, ma'am, you.
See, oh God. See, I'll tell you only one thing. I was waiting the way actually Uddhav Thackeray ji has become Chief Minister of Maharashtra, because the ideology and the speeches from Bala Saheb Thackeray has spoken from every stage that none of my family member will become any day CM, Chief Minister. So that is all there. Who lives in Maharashtra, they know what was ideology of Bala Saheb Thackeray's ideology. Me coming to any party is a total different, but I am person who actually brought up in Mumbai, so I know the ideology. So I'm happy for it. Who actually got the real ideology is Eknath Shinde ji after
But
Bala
I'll tell you why that question is pertinent, Ms. Rana. I'll tell you why the question is pertinent, because after Eknath Shinde being awarded now the symbol and the party name Shiv Sena, there will be a lot from maybe the Uddhav Thackeray camp now who will defect or come back when what they will say is the real Shiv Sena. It will attract a lot more people. Does that include you?
See, why should it influence on me and on? I am always an independent person. My husband is thrice. He's an independent MLA. He's a running MLA. Independently, we are doing this work. So I don't think it comes on me. But the way these all 40 MLAs have come out leaving Uddhav Thackeray, it is clearly because of his ideology. The way he used to work 2.5 years. He was a chief minister. He's never left Mathushri and came out to help people or farmers or anybody else. So I think people used to vote Shiv Sena because of Bala Saheb Thackeray's ideology. And that Uddhav Thackeray has lost that ideology. Because of that MLA from Shiv Sena, they have left Uddhav Thackeray and come to Eknath Shinde. That is very clear.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Navneet Rana. There, clearly, it's a moment of celebration and elation where it comes down to Eknath Shinde and now the real Shiv Sena. There's been a constant push by Uddhav Thackeray and his camp that the EC should have actually waited for the Supreme Court to settle the matter on defection. But having said that, viewers, ultimately, if you look at it in terms of what has been protocol, what has been the rule, the election symbols, reservation, allotment order of 1968 clearly states that the EC can decide disputes amongst rival groups or sections of a recognized political party. Now, the EC is the only authority, and one needs to underline that EC is the only authority to decide issues on a dispute or a merger. The Supreme Court upheld this validity in the year 1971. So what the EC has decided is binding away from the purview of the Supreme Court. And whether Mr. Uddhav Thackeray and his camp likes it or not, calls it favor or that the EC is compromised is what they seem to say, all of that aside, it is now binding. Shiv Sena and the symbol of bow and arrow now lies with no one else but the man that you see bang in the middle of your television screen, Eknath Shinde. How does it benefit him? Very clear in the days to come. There are the BMC elections in Mumbai. After that, multiple constituencies go in for by-elections in the coming year. As my colleague Sahil suggested, it's like a mini election of sorts, state election of sorts, which would be taking place next year. So it will definitely help. The fact that the symbol and the name has been burnt into the memory space of Shiv Sena cadre and followers is a huge, huge win for Eknath Shinde. On the other hand, will now Uddhav Thackeray see more defections? What happens to the legacy? What happens to Aditya Thackeray? All of that in question. Huge blow. And nobody can deny it when it comes in for Uddhav Thackeray. Let's listen in to my colleague Sahil speaking to the Chief Minister, Eknath Shinde.
आज जो फैसला आया है उसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है? किस तरीके से आप इस फैसले को देखते हैं?
ये सत्य का विजय है, ये सत्य का विजय है, लोकशाही का विजय है और बाला साहेब और आनंद के साहब के विचारों का विजय और तमाम जिन्होंने मुझ पर विश्वास रखा, मेरे 50 सहयोगी विधायक है, सांसद है और हजारों लाखों कार्यकर्ता शिव सैनिक, इनका विजय है। मैं चुनाव आयोग को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ।
सर, लेकिन इसके बाद आपको लगता है कि और भी लोग आपसे जुड़ेंगे? मुंबई में खास करके आप इंतजार कर रहे थे इस फैसले का, अब जब ओरिजिनल नाम और बो एंड एरो सिंबल आपको मिल चुका है तो और भी लोग आपसे जुड़ने की उम्मीद आपको लग रही है?
नहीं, लोग तो जुड़ रहे हैं। जब ये सिंबल नहीं था तब भी लोग जुड़ रहे हैं। जो विचार हम लोग ने जो भूमिका ली हुई है बाबा साहब के विचारों की और इस राज्य के हित की, जनता के हित की जो भूमिका हमने ली हुई है, इसलिए लोग काफी जुड़ रहे हैं, आगे भी जुड़ते रहेंगे।
आरोप लगाया जा रहा है शिवसेना उद्धव गुट के तरफ से, अब उनको उद्धव ठाकरे गुट कहना चाहिए, कि उनका कहना है कि सत्ता का उपयोग करके ये फैसला लिया गया इलेक्शन कमीशन की तरफ से। क्या कहना है आपका?
ये देखिए, आरोप लगाना तो उनका काम है, लेकिन इस देश में लोकशाही में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, रूल्स है, कानून है।
आज जो फैसला आया है उसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है? किस तरीके से आप इस फैसले को देखते हैं?
ये सत्य का विजय है, ये सत्य का विजय है, लोकशाही का विजय है और बाला साहेब और आनंद दिघे साहब के विचारों का विजय। और तमाम जिन्होंने मुझ पर विश्वास रखा, मेरे 50 सहयोगी विधायक है, सांसद है और हजारों लाखों कार्यकर्ता, शिव सैनिक, इनका विजय है। मैं चुनाव आयोग को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ।
All right, you just heard Eknath Shinde there, the Chief Minister, elated, ecstatic. Many would suggest he was expecting it as well, but it's a big, big win for Eknath Shinde's faction, and it will augur a lot politically in the days to come. Uddhav Thackeray, and one has to admit, is on the back foot now. A lot of thinking to do, especially to try and keep whatever little flock that he still has together. Lots of questions coming in. On the other hand, of course, we're not hearing much from the Uddhav Thackeray faction. A lot of deliberations must be going on. You did hear Sanjay Raut. Let's try and get in that reaction once again of Sanjay Raut. Listen in.
पानी की तरह बहाया, वो पानी कहाँ तक पहुँचा है ये आज देश ने देखा, लोकतंत्र ने देखा। लेकिन हमें कोई फिक्र करने की ज़रूरत नहीं, जनता हमारे साथ। हम नया चिन्ह लेकर जाएंगे और जनता के दरबार में फिर एक बार यही शिवसेना खड़ी करके
सर्वोच्च
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मामला विचाराधीन है, वहां पे बात अभी चली रही है। आपने आनंद फानन में अभी ये डिक्लेयर कर दिया कि एकनाथ शिंदे की पार्टी है और चुनाव चिन्ह तीर धनुष उनका है। इसका हम निषेध करते हैं। पूरे भारत में अब सभी को विश्वास हो गया है कि चुनाव आयोग पूरी तरह से भाजपा के एजेंट के रूप में काम करती है और अब चुनाव आयोग पर किसी को विश्वास नहीं है। चुनाव आयोग अपनी विश्वसनीयता खो चुकी है।
उद्धव ठाकरे जी ने मुख्यमंत्री पद के लिए हिंदुत्व छोड़ा, नाम भी गया, निशान भी गया। अब दोनों हाथ में हरा झंडा लेके निकले हैं, नामो निशान भी रहेगा।
अखेर सत्याचा विजय झाला। बाळासाहेब आणि आनंद दिघे साहेबांच्या विचारांचा विजय आहे। मला त्याच्यावर प्रतिक्रिया देण्याची आवश्यकता वाटत नाही। हा लोकशाहीचा विजय आहे, हा बहुमताचा विजय आहे आणि पुन्हा एकदा मी सांगतो, हिंदू हृदय सम्राट बाळासाहेब ठाकरे आणि धर्मवीर आनंद दिघे साहेबांच्या विचारांचा विजय आणि तमाम लोकप्रतिनिधी जे आहेत, माझ्यासोबत असलेले 50 आमदार, सर्व खासदार, लोकप्रतिनिधी ज्यांनी माझ्या भूमिकेशी एकरूप झाले, या सगळ्यांचा विजय आहे आणि अखेर हा सत्याचा विजय आहे। चुनाव आयोग ने जो निर्णय दिया है उसका मैं स्वागत करता हूँ। ये लोकशाही का विजय है। हिंदू हृदय सम्राट बाळासाहेब ठाकरे जी, धर्मवीर आनंद दिघे जी, इनके विचारों का विजय है। और मेरे साथ मैंने जो भूमिका ली, उसके साथ जो 50 विधायक और 13 सांसद, हजारों लाखों कार्यकर्ता, पदाधिकारी, शिव सैनिक, ये इनका विजय है और इसलिए मैं चुनाव आयोग को धन्यवाद देतो।
सर, सुप्रीम कोर्टात आज निकाल जो आहे तो सुप्रीम कोर्टात देखील अशाच प्रकारे लोकशाहीला धरून तुमचा विजय होईल अशी अपेक्षा आहे का तुमची?
लोकशाहीमध्ये
आज जो फैसला आया।
All right, you just heard the Chief Minister Eknath Shinde ecstatic, elated fireworks is what we see. I believe this is Varsha, the residence of the Chief Minister, where resides Eknath Shinde, understandably so. There are various implications of all of this. We're going to try and get in a word. What happens now to party property? All of that had been frozen. What happens to that massive Shiv Sena Bhavan, at Dadar? It's an iconic building in Dadar. What about party property, administration? All of that now goes to Eknath Shinde. Is that the question? Interesting to look into all of that, because once now the name of the party and the symbol of the party, Naam and Nishan, if that has been settled, what about party property? What about administration, organization? Every building, every organization which was frozen because of the vertical split between the party, will now that be restored in the name of what is now the real Shiv Sena? We're going to try and get in a word from my colleague Sahil Joshi. We're going to try and connect to him in a short while from now. But yes, it's a big day. What you see are celebrations that are taking place, fireworks, firecrackers. It would be interesting now to actually look what's happening in front of Matoshri as well. It'd be interesting to note, have the Shiv Senics, which associated themselves with Uddhav Thackeray, well, they really won't be called Shiv Senics anymore, will they? Will they also be gathering in front of the residence of Uddhav Thackeray? Because Varsha is in celebratory mode, viewers. Firecrackers going out where Varsha, the Chief Minister's residence, is concerned. On the other hand, it seems abject silence at Matoshri. We're going to try and get in a word, try and get in a reporter. This would have huge political implications. There's no denying that. The BMC elections are around the corner. There are by-elections, many of them around the corner. There's the general elections next year. It's a big win, perception-wise, for Eknath Shinde. And where the Uddhav faction is concerned, you heard Sanjay Raut there, where he said, we don't care now about anything else. The love of the people still lies with us, but will that be enough? And the true litmus test of all of that would be the BMC elections. When you have the administration on your side, because you are the Chief Minister, when you have the Naam and Nishan, the name and symbol, you have the perception on your side as well. Will there be more defections, those who are just looking, waiting and watching, where Uddhav Thackeray is concerned and his flock, or the limited numbers that he retained? Will there be a jump in those as well? Lots of questions. Listen in to all reactions coming in.
सत्य परेशान हो सकता है लेकिन पराजित नहीं। वंदनीय हिंदू हृदय सम्राट बाला साहेब ठाकरे, इन्होंने जो हमें जो विचार दिया था, हिंदुत्व का विचार, वो लेकर माननीय एकनाथ जी शिंदे साहब जो इस महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री को लेकर चल रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है कि आज न्यायालय ने उसको सही ठहराया और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हम सब शिव सैनिक इसीलिए बाला साहब की शिवसेना में गए थे, क्योंकि बाला साहब का विचार लेके सिर्फ एकनाथ शिंदे साहब चल रहे हैं। उनके साथ 40 आमदार, सब खासदार और सब शिव सैनिक है, और यही शिवसेना है। और इसके ऊपर शिक्कामोर्तब माननीय न्यायालय ने किया है, मैं उसका आदर करता हूँ।
Well, you just heard there a leader of Eknath Shinde's camp, and now the real Shiv Sena camp, quoting Sachin Pilot, Satya Pareshan ho sakta hai. But, we're going to play that out again for our viewers. But having said that, this is a big day. Let's listen in to the Deputy CM.
ठाकरे जी के विचारों पर चलने वाली शिवसेना, यानी मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ जी शिंदे, इनकी शिवसेना को शिवसेना का चिन्ह धनुष्य बाण और शिवसेना का नाम मिला है। अब ओरिजिनल शिवसेना ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी की शिवसेना बनी है। मैं एकनाथ शिंदे जी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। हम लोग पहले दिन से इस बारे में कॉन्फिडेंट थे, क्योंकि इलेक्शन कमीशन के अलग अलग पार्टियों के बारे में इसके पहले के अगर आप निर्णय देखेंगे तो इसी प्रकार के निर्णय उन्होंने दिए हैं। इसलिए मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हमें जो विश्वास था, आज उस विश्वास को पूरे तरीके से बल मिला है और असली शिवसेना, बाला साहब के विचारों पर चलने वाली शिवसेना, ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी की ही है।
ये आरोप लगाया जा रहा है कि जिसकी उम्मीद थी वही हुआ, शिवसेना की तरफ से ऐसा वक्तव्य आ रहा है।
देखिए, इससे अलग वक्तव्य वो दे ही नहीं सकते। उनके दोनों प्रकार के वक्तव्य टाइप करके रखे हुए थे। अगर उनके पक्ष में निर्णय आता तो उनका वक्तव्य था कि इलेक्शन कमीशन ने बहुत सही काम किया है, फ्री एंड फेयर काम किया है, और दूसरा उन्होंने टाइप करके रखा था कि उनके विरोध में आएगा तो इलेक्शन कमीशन दबाव में है। वो उनकी स्क्रिप्ट पर चल रहे हैं। लेकिन इलेक्शन कमीशन हो या सुप्रीम कोर्ट हो, ये कानून से चलता है, ये न्याय से चलता है, ये संविधान से चलता है।
मंत्री
शिवसेना प्रमुख बाळासाहेब ठाकरे जी के विचारों पर चलने वाली शिवसेना, यानी मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ जी शिंदे, इनकी शिवसेना को शिवसेना का चिन्ह धनुष्य बाण और शिवसेना का नाम मिला है। अब ओरिजिनल शिवसेना ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी की शिवसेना बनी है। मैं एकनाथ शिंदे जी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। हम लोग पहले दिन से इस बारे में कॉन्फिडेंट थे, क्योंकि इलेक्शन कमीशन के अलग अलग पार्टियों के बारे में इसके पहले के अगर आप निर्णय देखेंगे तो इसी प्रकार के निर्णय उन्होंने दिए हैं। इसलिए मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हमें जो विश्वास था, आज उस विश्वास को पूरे तरीके से बल मिला है और असली शिवसेना, बाला साहब के विचारों पर चलने वाली शिवसेना, ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी की ही है।
चुनाव आयोग ने जो निर्णय दिया है उसका मैं स्वागत करता हूं। ये लोकशाही का विजय है। हिंदुहृदय सम्राट बाला साहेब ठाकरे जी, धर्मवीर आनंद दिघे जी, इनके विचारों का विजय है। और मेरे साथ मैंने जो भूमिका ली, उसके साथ जो 50 विधायक और 13 सांसद, हजारों लाखों कार्यकर्ता, पदाधिकारी, शिव सैनिक, ये इनका विजय है। और इसलिए मैं चुनाव आयोग को धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
Well, not a tweet, nothing right now from Uddhav Thackeray or even Aditya Thackeray. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments, fireworks going on at Varsha. It seems abject silence at Matoshri. But having said that, trust India Today to get you the ringside view of the latest political developments. What happens with the party property now? What happens with the iconic Bala Sahib Thackeray Bhavan or the Shiv Sena Bhavan at Dadar? What about the various organizations, administrative organizations when it comes down to the Shiv Sena? All of that now with the real Shiv Sena. Is that so? We're going to get you all of that on the top of 9 p.m. Do stay with us.
Over 3 decades, Business Today has delivered news, views and analysis like no other. Now, Business Today presents the future.
Could I request Mr. Arun Puri, our Editor-in-Chief, to come up on the stage with the Finance Minister as we unveil the anniversary issue of Business Today. This is the 31st anniversary of India's #1 news magazine.
Preeti produces a cover with an AI avatar of Pichan on its 31st anniversary issue. Visit businesstoday.in/subscribe and subscribe now.
A corporate museum called The Journey has got everyone talking. This museum showcases the origins of the DS Group, its struggling era, initial phase of establishment, the downfall followed by rejuvenation of family members, revival of business and reincarnation of the belief of the founder Shri Satyapal ji. It's actually the art of storytelling, which involves a wide range of media and multimedia tools backed by context-driven, strong narrative that has made the outcome truly an undulating one. It took 2 years for this museum to be completed.
I took over the business and I used to see the files of my father, the records and other things. So I came to know that what was the hard work he put in. And in 50s and 60s, where there was no brand consciousness, he used to work hard. We got those handmade designs and other things. Creating brand where trademark and branding was not known to anybody. So then we started collecting them, and there were huge bundles of papers and other things. So we started developing a biography on him.
Okay.
So in 2014 we launched his biography, and वो इतना डाटा कलेक्ट करते करते हमारे को मतलब ये लगा कि अब हमारे को ये म्यूजियम के लायक सामान है, तो फिर हमने म्यूजियम पे काम करना शुरू करा. And so that from my grandfather's time to father.
So sorry.
बाबू सोना मैं ना चाहूं, मैं तो चाहूं दर्शन तेरा, तू जो तू दे प्यार से मेरी सेहत बन जाए, आजा गैया बाहों में वैलेंटाइन को न मनाऊं, मैं तेरे प्यार को ही पाऊं. गैया गैया हे मैया मुझको तू इतना हक दे, तेरी सेवा करूं ये अनुभव अलग दे. वैलेंटाइन तेरे चरणों पर अर्पित है, बस एक बार तू मुझको हक दे. आई लव यू गैया मोरी मैया.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies. Co-presented by Century Ply, आग से बचाए. Co-presented by Macho Hint, fashion बड़े आराम से. Co-powered by CH, it helps. Co-powered by Sera, this is your space, play it your way. Hyundai Ioniq 5, the all-electric SUV.
Big India Today exclusive news break here on the news track. Did billionaire philanthropist George Soros try to scuttle the Rafale aircraft deal? Legal advocacy group Sherpa sought a judicial investigation into the Rafale deal, had links to George Soros. The Sherpa lists Soros's Open Society Foundation as a support ground on its website. So, is this a part of George Soros' mission to destabilize India? And that mission, does it stand completely exposed? We get to this exclusive news break here on India Today. Legal advocacy group Sherpa sought a judicial investigation into the Rafale deal, and this organization has been linked to George Soros. The BJP government makes it very clear that this is George Soros waging war against India. His comments at the Munich Security Conference. We'll get you much more on this big story. I have BJP Vice President Jay Panda joining me on the broadcast, but this remains our top focus story on the news track this evening.
Foreign big gun opens fire on Adani storm. Billionaire takes shot at #1 democracy. Soros's words trigger a political meltdown in India.